Hey gorgeous, it's Ker-leen. Thank you so much for tuning back into my channel. Today I have part 2 of my 5 different kinds of vanilla perfumes. If you haven't seen the first one, I will link it here for you. And in the first one, I talked all about my Arabian perfumes. Today, we're talking all about my niche and designer vanilla fragrances. So if you are a vanilla lover and that sounds like your cup of tea, then please stay tuned. Hey friend, welcome back to the channel. I am super duper excited that you're here and thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to hang with me. For those of you who are new here, on this channel I talk luxury, I do review videos, I share my fragrance journey, and I also sprinkle in a little bit of lifestyle. So if any of those things interest you, then I would love to have you join the family. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and be sure to turn on that notification bell so you know exactly when my videos drop. All right, let's get into it. The first fragrance we're talking about today is Quilombo by Fueguia 1833. Quilombo is an extremely edible smelling fragrance. This fragrance smells like straight up food. So I like to call this vanilla very edible and food-like. If there were a spectrum of various kinds of gourmand fragrances, this one would be at the far end of the spectrum where you literally smell like a piece of dessert. This fragrance smells like condensed milk. This is lactonic. There's a very natural caramel in here. There's a slight saltiness to this fragrance. So just picture a glass of room temperature condensed milk, mix in some caramel, and you have Quilombo. Quilombo is extremely edible smelling. I like to pull this out during the fall evenings and during the winter time because this one is extremely dense, extremely dense. But I love it because it has a moderate projection and it lasts a very long time, super duper long lasting. Quilombo also has this popcorn nuance. There's a little bit of a nuttiness in here. So it's almost like a kettle corn. You get the buttery popcorn, but it's covered and coated with sugary sweet syrup. That's kind of what this smells like. So it's a little salty. It has a buttery popcorn-like nuance. It's very sticky. It's very lactonic, like condensed milk. And y'all, this fragrance is just food. This is literally food in a bottle. And my juice has gotten so deep since I've had it. I purchased this maybe over a year ago. And y'all, this is so good. It's pricey, but I feel like I got what I paid for. I wanted a gourmand that was very lactonic, and that's exactly what they deliver in this fragrance. This is Quilombo by Fueguia 1833. Speaking of edible smelling and gourmand fragrances, this next one definitely falls into that category, except that I like to consider this one an elevated gourmand. This one is Maison Mataha's Escapod Gourmand. Escapod Gourmand is what I like to call an elevated and quiet gourmand. This is one that is not dense, it's not cloying, it's very airy and light wearing. I tend to go nose blind to it. After a while, I feel like I can't smell it, but it does leave a beautiful scent trail, and people do smell this on me even when I can't smell it on myself. This one is so good. So refined, leaves a beautiful scent trail, yet it's somehow very quiet. So I like to call this a quiet gourmand. So this one is not overly dense, it's not cloying, it's not headache inducing. It's very different from a gourmand like Quilombo, which is very dense and very sweet and can be headache inducing for some. This one is just very refined, very polished. I feel like with this one I still smell like a snack, but just a little bit more elevated. This one is subtly musky. It's a tinge powdery. It's very sweet and warm, yet very light. This is Escapod Gourmand by Maison Mataha. The next one I have here is a more grown up and sophisticated kind of vanilla. Unlike the previous two, this one is not an edible smelling gourmand, but you do get a healthy dose of vanilla in this one. This is one that I tend to recommend to people because it is a crowd-pleasing kind of scent. You will smell like a snack, but in a grown-up way. And this one is YSL's Black Opium Le Parfum. Black Opium Le Parfum is a very elevated vanilla as well, but this one does not give off food-like vibes. I think this one is great for people who don't want to smell edible, don't want to smell like food, but really love a good vanilla. I also think that this one is a nice vanilla fragrance for people that may be just trying to dip their toes into the vanilla pool. pool for the first time, I think this one is a nice one as well because it does have very grown-up facets. So this one is warm, it's subtly spicy. It's supported by white florals, so there is a floral component. Although the white florals are not very prominent in this fragrance, they're more of a foundation. And this fragrance is also very balsamic. So this fragrance has 4 different kinds of vanilla: vanilla absolute, vanilla orchid, bourbon vanilla, and Madagascar vanilla. It has orange blossom, jasmine, sambac. It opens up with a very interesting combination of notes. You have cinnamon, which gives this fragrance that subtle spice. It has pear, which gives it like this juicy feel, this fruity feel. And then it has that mandarin in the opening. And I do feel like I pick up pretty much all of those notes in the opening. As I mentioned, the florals are very light in here, and then you just get hit with all of those gorgeous vanillas, but I don't pick up on a strong coffee note in here. Likewise, the patchouli does not stand out to my nose very much. So what I mostly get from this is just a gorgeous vanillic fragrance supported by white florals with a subtle spice to it. This is supposed to be a little bit solar in nature. I feel like, again, that doesn't stand out to me a ton. This is just a beautiful vanilla fragrance. And now that I've had this fragrance for a while, I feel like this would smell amazing on a man, especially like for a date night. I'm actually gonna test that theory on my husband. I'm gonna ask him to wear this in the evening for me so that I can test that theory, but I feel like this would smell amazing on a man. Similarly, the previous 2 fragrances could also be worn by anyone and you would smell absolutely amazing. I do feel like Escapod GOURMAND leans a little bit more feminine, but so far all 3 of these fragrances could be enjoyed by anyone. So this is YSL's Black Opium Le Parfum. This next one is more of an honorable mention because this is a vanilla fragrance that I have grown to absolutely love. And this one is Kyalie's Vanilla Candy Rock Sugar 42. Rock Sugar 42 kind of took me by surprise. When I first smelled it, I was like, meh, it's okay, it's pretty. And then I went back to the store and I purchased a travel size and I fell in love. As you can see, we are going to be due for another bottle very soon because this one is just so much fun. That's what I like to call this vanilla. This is your fun, flirty, very lighthearted, bubblegummy, yet grown up and very sexy vanilla fragrance. So Vanilla Candy Rock Sugar is sweet, it's creamy, it's a little fruity, a little balsamic, but overall this transitions from a fruit to a purple floral to a bubblegum, like pink bubblegum fragrance, to a very creamy and sugary sweet whipped cream. That's kind of how this fragrance transitions on me, and that is why I love it so much. It does take you for a little bit of a ride, and it is very, very sexy and grown up. So this one is an honorable mention. This is Vanilla Candy Rock Sugar 42. This next one is what I like to call my soft and fluffy and feminine and comforting vanilla fragrance. This is one I talk about all the time on the channel, and if you've been watching me for a while, you have heard of this fragrance before. This one is Mind Games Queening. Queening is absolutely gorgeous. It's pretty linear in my opinion, but it's still complex because there's a combination of saffron and rum and coconut and cotton flower and iris and vanilla in here that are blended to absolute perfection, so that what you end up with is this really soft, like the cotton, the feel of cotton, sort of creamy, subtly powdery, sweet fragrance that is a little difficult to put into words. It's an experience, and I love this fragrance. It is a more intimate wear, and I do like to overspray with this one, and I feel like when I do that, people definitely smell me, but it's definitely one that you have to come in close to smell. It smells very soft, very nurturing, subtly sweet. The coconut is not like a sunscreen, suntan lotion coconut. Instead, it's a coconut that adds depth and adds a little meatiness to this fragrance so that it's not super duper airy, because it does have a soft and subtle presence. This one is sweet but not over the top. It's the perfect year-round vanilla. And I feel like this is the kind of vanilla that can be a signature scent. You can wear it year-round. It's appropriate for a lot of different types of occasions and scenarios. And I feel like it's one that I won't grow tired of because it is a more intimate wear. This one is so soft and so pretty. And this is what I like to call a clean girl's vanilla fragrance. So if you are into the clean girl vibes, this is a clean girl vibe type of vanilla fragrance. This is soft and inviting and comforting and sweet and innocent, but very pulled together, and a signature scent. This is Mind Games Queening. This last one is a newbie to my collection and an absolute love. And this is the kind of vanilla I would describe as very fresh and bright, an everyday scent that has an intoxicating, creamy and fluffy dry down. This one is Gucci Flora Gorgeous Orchid. I had this one in a travel size and I was so enamored with it that I knew I wanted a full bottle of it. So I did pick up this smaller bottle for my birthday and I'm so happy I went ahead and did that. This is a very interesting vanilla, different than anything I have. Although there's no citrus note listed in the note breakdown, I feel like this opens up with a bit of a bright citrusy opening. It's very vanillic and it stays very bright and vanillic for most of the wear. But when you get into the dry down, I feel like this gets creamy and fluffy and even more sweet. The notes are very simple. You have vanilla, vanilla orchid, and you have an ozonic accord. But I feel like that ozonic accord might have a bit of a salty nuance to it because this does come across as a subtly salty vanilla as well. I don't quite get like a strong banana note from this fragrance, but it does get very creamy and very sweet on the dry down. So this fragrance is absolutely gorgeous. I love all the stages, but I realized that my favorite part is the dry down. It's so beautiful. This one is a crowd pleasing scent. Every time I put this on, I get a compliment. One of my last compliments was from a Starbucks employee. She was behind the register and she said, "You smell so good." And at the time, I didn't think anyone would perceive it on me because it was a very hot day. I was outside and then I went into the store and she could still perceive this fragrance on me. So this is a compliment getter. This is a crowd-pleasing scent. It's an everyday vanilla fragrance, a grab and go, if you will. You don't have to think too much about this one. It's so beautifully done and I absolutely love it. I love it. I will be wearing this year-round. So in the fall, this is going to be in heavy rotation and I think this is going to make for a great layering fragrance come this winter. So this is Gucci's Flora Gorgeous Orchid. All right, friend, we have come to the end of the video and I just want to say thank you for still being here. If you enjoyed the video or if you found it helpful, don't forget to give it a like on your way out. And if you are here and you enjoy fragrance content, I would love to have you join the family because I make quite a bit of fragrance content here. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and be sure to turn on that notification bell so you never miss another video. So it's about to rain over here and it's gotten quite gloomy, which you can probably tell by my lighting. So before we part ways today, I just want to remind you to keep being your beautiful self. Keep letting your light shine and keep showing up as the best version of yourself. Because let's face it, no one can do you quite like you. I will be over here doing the exact same thing. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one very soon. Mwah! Bye.